Hello, everyone. Welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube. Thank you very much for all of your company. We are talking tonight all things Dubai. The tune have been out the past week enjoying the sunshine. Well, we've had a bit of sunshine in England, haven't we? Not as hot. They've been out in the sunshine, double the temperature that we've been getting, even more so. But yeah, we are live, so if you can smash the like video, help us out here on NFTV. We are talking all the news the past 7 days on and off the pitch. Obviously, Newcastle did play a training practice friendly against Stephen Taylor's team, but we'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. And as ever, we'll be reading out some of your live chat as well. And also, if you want to see our members' special things, click the join button underneath where you get exclusive videos. And of course, you can see all the socials and my website and what have you. So thank you very much, everybody. Welcome along. We can see your comments coming through as well. Good evening, Mr. Ferrari. Yes, I am a Ferrari fan. Yes, well remembered. Howie the lad says Dan as well. And yeah, class Tyler. Yeah, nice to see you all in the live chat as well. I want to begin with right to the beginning of the week, because it's not the first time that Allan Saint-Maximin has had a little pop back at fans. Rightly or wrongly, I'd like to know what you lot think. You can see the tweet there that Allan Saint-Maximin put out beginning of last week. And he tweeted saying, this is on his Instagram account, "People forget quickly, but I know what to do to restore their memory." And obviously Callum Wilson's replied back to that and, speak out and clapping the hands emoji. And obviously he's hit out on Instagram for his haters for his performance against Everton when he lost the ball and Everton went up the other end with Alex Iwobi and scored. And as you can see the quote, "People forget quickly, but I know what to do to restore their memory." Do you know what it is with Allan Saint-Maximin? He is very much a luxury player. We know that he is, and I think he is adored by Newcastle fans, but I think he's adored that much that they want him to do more, because he is effectively seen by a lot of people as still the star player, despite, you've Joe Linton's form's increased. Obviously, I've done the documentary on him. You've seen Bruno Gomes come in. He's getting better. Matty Target, Dan Burn. There's a lot of players who perform, but people still look at ESM as the out-and-out star player amongst the Newcastle squad. And, he is outspoken for good and bad reasons. He winds fans up. You've seen him on Twitter. He winds Mackhams up and what have you, and it's part of who he is. And I think he's actually quite an emotional character personally, because I think if fans are getting to him, I think that's affects him. And I think if it's direct abuse, I think that's wrong. Of course, you can criticize players. Of course, that's what the platform's for social media. It's to have engagement. That's to have discussion. Of course, it is. But ESM, we know he will come good, and those fans that have criticized him would be lapping it up and loving him. I kind of get why, not many footballers, they don't touch social media nowadays. A lot of the social media is ran by other people. ESM he runs his own platforms, and we do love him, and he is very much a luxury player. And I always say that if he wants a big move to a Man United or a Chelsea or whatever, Liverpool, he's got to bang in 10 goals and 10 assists every season to be consistent. We know that you can go past 4 players and put a top corner. We know that you can go on the wing and go past a couple of players and lay it off to Callum Wilson, play Wilson in, Wilson finishes, whatever. But there'll also be times where it will frustrate you, where you'll lose the ball, which Everton went down the other end and scored. I get that. That's going to happen. He's been dispossessed second most this season, which doesn't surprise me. But Wilfred Zaha is number 1 for being dispossessed. Again, 2 very similar type of players who like to take on their man. He will lose a ball. I think we've got to take that. I think you can still learn. I still think he's got another level to go, personally, for me. But without a shadow of a doubt, ESM is, you want him in the team. You don't want him sitting on the bench week in, week out. You want him, putting defenders, going past defenders, worrying defenders constantly. Allan Saint-Maximin's a great plan. I think he'll come out fine. I think he will find your form. You'll come back and you'll find a bit of form towards the end of the season. I'm very, very confident of that. But we'll move across to the players arrived in Dubai last Friday now. So it's been a week, the night after Goodison Park. Miadad has been out there as well. So he's actually at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, cheering on Lewis Hamilton. Team Ferrari all the way, as I say. He's out there and he's probably doing a bit of business as well in Saudi Arabia now, because now he's obviously been in United Arab Emirates, and now he's in the Saudi But of course, he went along with the squad, and they were staying at the posh. I need to be careful how I say this. Nad Al Shaiba Sports Complex. I think that's the way to describe it. Eddie Howe has gone on to say that it's got fantastic facilities. It's incredible. It's a massive improvement on what we've got. Look, Newcastle's training ground. I mean, there's plenty of videos out there. There's plenty of discussion on social media that our training ground. Well, we'll just put that to bed, shall we? It's not the greatest, and he's said that it's nice to expose the players to better facilities, like the gym's totally different. There's a swimming pool. I mean, it's basic stuff. A swimming pool in the training ground. Who knew? That we could have, etc., etc. And this is the pitch of the complex where the lads had stayed, and they've got plenty to do in and around. You've obviously got the FIFA standard football pitch. You've even got a diving pool. You've even got the car park top right there. The indoor stadium, if they want to play indoors, top there. The gym, where I was reflecting just before there, the sports complex. That's where a lot of the lads have been indoors. And you've even got an athletics track. Now, don't get me wrong, it was absolutely red hot in Dubai. It was 35, 36 degrees. So going from when the lads left, you were talking, 11, 12 degrees into that climate, it would have worked hard. Eddie Howe did allow the players to, which we'll talk on in a minute, have time off. But players who didn't travel, of course, we're going to look at that as well. There were a lot of players who were on international duty who didn't travel with Newcastle. So you're talking the likes of Martin Dubravka, Emil Krath, Fabian Schär, more on him later. Bruno Gomes, Chris Wood, more on him in a second as well. Almiron, who scored for Paraguay last night as well. So they didn't travel. Ryan Fraser, interestingly, was just ignored by Steve Clarke because he's in a huff with him. That's basically what it's down to, because Fraser didn't want to go to Scotland last time out. And Steve Clarke's in a bit of a huff. He didn't admit it, but it's clear he's in a huff because Ryan Fraser is a player on form. You would want him in the Scotland squad at least. But Steve Clarke's in a huff. But yeah, great to see Ryan Fraser go. And obviously Wilson, Trippier, and Isaac Hayden all travelled despite not being available. They've all been in light training. Clarke, even Kieran Clarke, went away with the squad despite him not being registered with the squad. Even Isaac Hayden's not registered with the squad. And Jamal Lewis did not travel because he still can't train yet. He's still actually out at the minute. He's been posting a little bit on his Instagram as well. So that's the updates with who was there and who wasn't. Let's have a look what he's saying in the comments. Over on Twitch, Minitoon, good to see you. Toon Black White Army. Geordie goes on to say, and this is regarding ASM, I hope he proves the doubt us wrong, but I can't see him performing against Spurs, for example, says Geordie. Why not? Please let us know. Geordie, Tune for life. It's the way ASM is, but he needs to do it on the pitch. He's not above criticism, and if he's not playing well like all the players, yeah. So you can obviously criticize players. It's the way you do it in some aspects. Wolfstone, hello mate, you all right? Hope you rest. Hope you and rest all right. Oh, the rest of the lads, sorry, yeah. Sam, smash the like button. Yes, you can do it. It's there. There it is. Like the video, please do. Please do, because I just put this all together straight after work. So we'll move forward then. Right. So speaking of international duty, and this was wonderful to see, Chris Wood has broken the all-time record for New Zealand. Now, the doubters and the skeptics are going to say, but he's playing pub teams week in, week out. But the facts are that Chris Wood has broken the transfer record when he played the other night in, funny enough, nearby country Qatar. And New Zealand won 4-0 against Fiji in a World Cup qualifier. And he actually played, was it yesterday? He came off the bench and scored again, a couple, in a 7-1 win over New Caledonia, one of the two. And Eddie Howe's obviously gone on to praise the achievements of his striker, basically just saying that, yes, it's in New Zealand. We didn't actually say that, but he's basically said that he's got to do all the traveling, because you've got to remember, New Zealand is literally, from England, is probably a 13-hour flight, roughly. I mean, I've never been, but it's past Australia. So it's a 14-hour flight, whatever. And then he's traveling all the way around the world. And don't get me wrong, New Zealand don't always play in their home country like they did the other night in Qatar, but it's still a lot of traveling for a country which is the other end of the world. And it's not massive on sport as in terms of football, is it, New Zealand? You don't think of it as football being the number one priority, but he's committed. He plays all the time in New Zealand, record top goal scorer. It's a positive piece of news, whatever you think. I think it's good. And that'll give him a lot of confidence when he comes back to the squad next week because he's now be buzzing his tits off. He's got 4 goals. He's top goal scorer in New Zealand. Like, Howland, I know I'm playing against Spurs this weekend. Bring it on. That'll give him a lot of confidence. It will. Italy didn't go through. And that was a shock. Absolute shock. I seen that North Macedonia. Incredible. Absolutely incredible that Italy aren't going to, European champions aren't going to be at the World Cup, which is mental. So going back to the training camp. So Eddie Howe had said that the trip has always been planned, regardless of what the results were. And he was talking about like the players being able to bond with each other because it's again such as Matty Targett, Dan Bird, even Kieran Trippier went out there as well. More on him in a second. A chance for people who, even Jamal Lascelles said it. Even Jamal Lascelles said it that the players are training. It was interesting what Lascelles said because he said because of the COVID that players haven't really mixed with each other, and that's not the that's not the interesting bit. The one after, he said after training they just go home. And I was thinking to myself, surely at work you bond. And Kieran Clark's got a close relationship with Jamal Lascelles, but there's bondness there. And I think to myself, did they not socialise the players? I was a bit really. I was a bit surprised by that, but that's what the captain said. And he said Eddie Howe was like to make new connections amongst staff as well. That's important as well. There's Newcastle got plenty of staff there, players, by giving them a free couple of days in the sun. We've seen Federico Fernandez post on his Instagram account that they were watching polo, as in horses polo, which was mad, absolutely mad. And I've had a few days downtime to go out and do what they want, and they've been to restaurants as well. And it's great. It's good for camaraderie. It's good for banter, learning about new cultures as well, because there's a lot of obviously different speaking tongue amongst the Newcastle squad. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. I actually think it's a good thing. Me and Johnny spoke about that the other day. I think it's a good thing to get away from the environment what you're so used to, and going away and bonding and learning new things. Even potentially, the climate's totally different. Tactics. I don't know if Eddie Howe's done on the pitch, because he said that they'll be going hard at work. He said that the training sessions were hard. It was a heat of 35 degrees. We're seeing all that, and later on in the week they had the training match, which I'll come on to in a moment. But yeah, Eddie Howe said it's a good thing. And obviously this isn't a real photo of Eddie Howe. I've obviously put him on in the background of the sports complex before any is starting the comments. But yeah, fantastic facilities. And as I say, Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job. And obviously they went to Saudi Arabia. And no doubt, I've got no doubt that, as I say, Miadad will be doing some deals because he's in the country of Saudi Arabia now for the F1, as I say. But Eddie Howe's gone out and say it, and it's fantastic. It'll be interesting to see how the lads reacted at Spurs, because they're coming back now. And they're going to be back in Newcastle, back in training. I think it's Monday, if I might be wrong on that. But they are flying back today because Miadad's in a different country. Speaking of Miadad, there's the handsome devil there. Obviously, Stephen Miller, the Paralympian who has won 3 gold medals, has been on Newcastle Fans TV. And he was there. He was invited down. Obviously, he's mad on Newcastle. He goes to all the home games. He was there watching the lads and training. And the squad, again, were invited to have a chat with him and sharing his stories, and the squad were asking him. It's not the first time either that Miller has actually had interaction with the squad. So he's talked about it with Johnny and Sam when he was on the channel. And it's great that he's been invited. And Eddie Howe was also saying about stuff like that. He wants to have more interaction with famous faces who come down and see the lads. Again, I think that's a good thing. And obviously, he's out there competing, Stephen Miller, so fantastic. And he's had a great time out there as well. So have a look at his social media if you want to see some updates from the tune. We'll pause and see what he's saying in the comments. Right, let's have a look then. 12 and a half hours to Singapore from there, and a 9 hours flight. Oof, ouch. Terraces, if I said that right. Do you think we need to keep Chris Wood next season if we survive, since we are expected to sign a world-class striker and Callum Wilson returning from injury? Why can't you have all 3? Why not? Well, we've only got 2 strikers. I can't see Dwight Gale sticking about. So why don't you have Wilson, Wood, and another striker? Why not? Got to compete. Jim, hello, Jim. How much longer will Chelsea be a top team? Will the new owners cover huge monthly costs? I think Chelsea still will. I still think if Chelsea was to plummet, you're talking years for me. Years for me. Darren, hello, mate. I hope we get a top-class training complex like the one in Dubai in the near future. Well, that's been talked about, hasn't it? When they talk to the Athletic as well. Top man, Adam, how you doing? G'day! Sorry, Elliot. And that's not an awful impression. Chelsea noob. Wolfson, do you think Callum Wilson and Chris Wood will be a good teammate once they return as in playing together? Again, that's probably an option that Eddie Howe will want to have, whether he plays Wilson up top on his own with ESM behind him, or he plays the two up top as well. Love from the Philippines. Thank you very much. God, we're all around the world. We've got Singapore, we've got Philippines. We've got next door to me. I'm not telling you who's next door to me because someone's commented near me. Adam says, you speak for a lot of Geordies, mate. Brilliant what you're doing. Much respect to you. Thank you very much, pal. And he's a good lad, Stephen. He lives near the next to the street. I often see him when I'm out with the dogs. Have a big, good crack on about the tune as well. I get it. Sell DG and keep Chris Wood. So thank you. Keep your comments coming. I'll come back to them very, very shortly. Next bit of news. Excuse me. Bit of some injury updates for you. Where shall we go? We'll go with, I've got a couple of pictures to show you. How we're saying about Callum Wilson. There's actually another, that's Stephen Miller's photo. That's a couple of lads you can see. I mean, look at that. Paul Dummett's got sleeveless tops on. There's a lot of them. And Sean Longstaff and what have you, and Kieran Clark, and then Joe Litton there. So anyways, Eddie Howe said on the Callum Wilson injury that he's been very, very careful on his injury return, that didn't want to rush him. He is on schedule to return at the right time, and that is expected to be in a few weeks' time in April. The Trippier one sounds a lot more promising, though, out of Kieran Trippier. Judging what Eddie Howe was saying, so he sounds more promising than Trippier than Wilson. And obviously, we'll come on to Trippier in a minute. Lewis has been operated on. He didn't travel, as I say. And despite not being registered, Eddie Howe still wants him part of the squad. He will train again with the squad very soon. And Hayden is back in light training. Obviously, again, he travelled with the squad. But again, he hasn't been registered due to his injury. So the injuries are getting better. They're nearing a return, especially Wilson and Kieran Trippier as well. Because, look, I think Newcastle are, touch wood, almost safe, because I think we only need 4 points, to be honest with you. I think we're nearly there, but it'll be great to have those two back because, you know, they'll massively improve our team, didn't they? And speaking of Kieran Trippier, this is him on the bike, which is great to see. This is on his personal Instagram account. And obviously on the right-hand side, that's when we all know he went down injured and he had his broken, was it metatarsal, I think it was, on his foot. One of his bones is broke. So Trippier was, the good news about Trippier is that his boot is off. And he's been on the after 4G, which is like how would I describe it? I'm not fully clued up, but it's like a treadmill, and that has protective covering at the bottom. So I don't know what it does. I don't know if it pumps fresh air. I don't know. I'm not the expert. I'm not. Please tell me in the comments. So he's been on that. He's been on the bike in the gym, as you can see. He went on to say that about going to games because you've seen him pictured in the dressing room, home and away. He said he wanted to go. He doesn't want to sit at home and just be sit at home and just, he wants to be part of the squad. He wants to be amongst it. He also went on to say that the trip away was good for the squad. It's good for the new players for continuing gelling. He referenced himself as well when they previously went to Saudi Arabia after the Leeds win. That was good for him to mix and chat with players who wouldn't normally have the time to, because even Lascelles earlier on, as I say, in the training ground, not many of them bond, literally go off to the wives or family or whatever. And when I was in the interviews on NUFC TV, and when I was listening to Trippier speak, I was like, he's got so much experience. He just talks a lot of sense. Kieran Trippier, he's one of those blokes where I could listen to him talk about football all day long. But he also, I think he can flip it as well. Because you've seen on the True Geordie podcast, he's one of his best pals in England is Jordan Tiny Arms Pickford, T-Rex arms. And obviously, you know, you can mix it up with a bit of banter and see, there's a couple of lads on NFTV that want Trippier as captain, and I wouldn't be against that next season personally for me. I wouldn't personally, because I think he just talks so much sense about it as well. We'll pause because we do have some bad news of injuries coming up as well. Can't wait for the 2 weeks today, my first Toon game. Dan, you will absolutely love it. Enjoy it. Gary says there's a lot of Singapore mags. Google it. We even have a pub watching live games. Brilliant. Fantastic. It'll be great to send us some photos and that, because we can always post that on the socials for you, Gary. The milk bottle coloured left leg on that. There must be Target. I've got no idea what he's on about there. Sorry, Jordy, for Toon Life. I'm completely there. We go. We've got a New Zealand on the house. So we're literally all around the world tonight. David, nice to see you. What's the time in New Zealand? Because These are way different time scales to us. Greetings from New Zealand, home of Chris Wood. He's very passionate, top scorer. How are the lads? Toon. Yeah. And not Kieran Trippier, I've got Trippier on the brain. Chris Wood, for younger fans who are New Zealanders, will see Chris Wood playing for Newcastle. And there's no doubt that we'll pick up a few fans who see Chris Wood as one of their own, leading the line for a Premier League side. And possibly, you never know. Some of them might be switching from Burnley to Newcastle. Some of the youngsters, you don't know, do you? You just don't know, do you? Trippier has 6 weeks on Sunday. I think he's doing well. Yeah, great to see him back. Hopefully it's not too long. Right. Some bad news. You might have seen this. Hopefully it's not too serious. I don't think it is. But that sexy beast that is Fabian Schär, the elegant man, playing out of his skin at the minute. For me, the best defender the past couple of months, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's the best. Playing unbelievable, reading the game. And everybody was worried, he can't play in a 2, Fabian Schär. You know, he's got a mistake and he likes to bring the ball out. Bollocks to that. He's proved that he can. And that relationship that he's got with Dan Burn is absolutely incredible. But the bad news is he's left the Switzerland squad. They're they're going to play England. So he's not going to feature against England. He's been injured whilst away at Switzerland with a groin injury. He is returning back to Newcastle for treatment. He should be okay for Spurs. It's still, 9 days away? But fingers crossed, because I want him in that squad. I think we are actually stronger with Fabian Schär in that squad rather than the captain coming in, personally for me. I think Dan Burn, I did criticise on Twitter, if anybody who follows me, because I felt he was at fault for the last 2 goals. Largely fault for the Chelsea one and partly a fault for the Everton one. Concentration, but largely those 2 have been brilliant. Don't want to split that up personally for me. Really don't. I hope Fabian Schär makes it, because the lad is literally playing his best football at Newcastle. And we'll move on to the news that we can try and get to you, which was obviously it's the title of the video, which when Newcastle have won 5. I need a drink because my throat's killing. So Newcastle won, and there was some rumours earlier on the week that Newcastle would just play a training match against each other's squad. But Stephen Taylor, that man there, again, he's been on the channel recently. Stephen Taylor, that's on Newcastle Fans TV. So, and that video's done really well. Johnny and Sam spoke to Stephen Taylor, and he was out in Dubai. Didn't give too much away. But he is managing an academy at the moment, Stephen Taylor. So that's what he's up to at the minute. So he's managing an academy who a lot of the players are under the age of 23 and they're trying to make it in the professional game. So it's basically like a scholarship for young lads who are trying to get a contract with a professional club. So it was a friendly against his side, and it was 60 minutes long, an hour-long game. It was split over 3 periods. So it was a 20-minute break, 20-minute break, 20-minute. And there was a lot of drinks break during that as well. And as you imagine, the temperatures are, you're talking fresh air in Newcastle, breezy, it's fine, you can cope with that. But when it's sticky climate, 35, 36, 37 degrees, it's tough to play on. So you can understand all the water breaks. And Newcastle, obviously, of course, won 5-0. 5-0, which is nice to see. But look, let's not get carried away ourselves. They're playing against academy side who are not professionals. But it's all about the warm weather training. These lads are on his screen because these are the goal scorers. So Dwight Gale, remember him? Yeah, you can score goals. Tell all the boys you know. Dwight Gale will score 2 goals. He scored 2, Dwight Gale, and Allan Saint-Maximin scored 2 as well. So again, criticism and what have you has come out and out of friendly. That man there, Joe Litton, who we did a documentary on as well, he scored. So Newcastle won 5-0. Now, what I was surprised at, there wasn't many details about it. There was I thought the club might tweet about it. I thought they might still over the weekend. I thought there might be some goals. I thought they might have recorded it. I thought they may have put it on YouTube live. Literally nothing. Nothing at all. And that's all we've got. That's all we've got. The Newcastle have won 5-0. I can't tell you who played well. I haven't seen it. Well, an as result, you can't tell me either, unless you're an insider. And there's already too many daft ITKs in the know. But Newcastle won 5-0. As far as we're aware, there's no injuries from that, which is good. But that's all we got. I was quite disappointed with the club actually not doing anything, not even tweeting about it, nothing. I mean, they might still, don't get me wrong, but the game's done. We're now the result. It's been reported in the media, but apart from that, we haven't got nothing. So would have been nice to see. It was a bit like the Saudi Arabia game when we won 1-0. The club that we're playing were tweeting the photos and that out. But yeah, nothing, which was disappointing. I don't know if we got, even if I haven't got any Wi-Fi, you can still record it and wait until you get home. Which hopefully we'll see some stuff over the weekend. But we won 5-0. So there we're gone. That is it. I'd love to tell you more stuff. We've got a couple of news, a couple more to get through. It's the picture you put up in Dubai on. It's just the leg you can see, not the face. Right, okay. Right, so that's what that was on about. 10 a.m. in New Zealand. Thank you very much, David. Any news on sponsors? Do you mean for the... I'm referring, you mean the club here. So, what 48 out of contract, aren't there? I think they'll go. I think they'll go at the end of the season. I think Castor will be kept on because they just obviously opened up their second shop in the Metro Centre coming very shortly, as well. So yeah, they're here for the contract. Ian, who's a Darlow fan, as he always tells us. I hope you're doing well as well, Ian. Canada as well, another one across the world. And Terraces goes on to say, I can't wait to see us have a decent sponsor on one of the remaining vestige of Ashley era, and I hate that sponsor on the shirt. I think they'll go. I think Funny It will be gone. I really do. I think they got the 1 year extension, and that was it. Couple of news away from Dubai. We have a new goalkeeping coach, lead academy coach. If you recognise his face, if you remember under Bobby Robson, this is Tony Craig, who was at the club. He spent 3 years, didn't play basically. Steve Harper has got him into the club, and he's going to be lead academy goalkeeping coach. So he'll be teaching all the kids at the club. Adam Bartlett, who's also a former Newcastle goalkeeper, who still was already on the books. He's actually been promoted, so he'll be working with the first team alongside Simon Smith as well. So there's a couple of changes behind the scenes for you if you haven't seen these small pieces of news the past week or so. So hopefully, it's more local. Well, no, not local. More former players being involved, because you've got quite a few now across the academy. And the last one I want to touch upon, and this is great. This is brilliant. The Lasses are going to be playing the St. James's Park again. We've had a lot of them on the channel. Sam and Johnny have spoken to a lot of them. Me and Johnny have done interviews with Becky recently, and Casey Ellison as well, a Toon player, and Georgia Gibson was only on last week. And the Lasses are going to be playing at St. James's Park, which is fantastic to see. They're going to be playing at St. James's Park, £3 for an adult, £1 for little one, or concessions. And they're going to be playing Barnsley. Even Barnsley women are excited by the prospect. They tweeted that out as well. So on the final day of the season for the ladies, which will be great, because the tooth and nail right at the top of Liverpool Feds, it's literally those two are just running away with the league. It's going to be one or the other, and one of them is fortunately whoever comes second can't even go in the playoffs. So whoever comes second in that league, I'm going to feel for them, because they're like 20 odd points ahead of third place. But Newcastle do play Liverpool Feds very, very shortly in April. Massive game. It's basically not just a title clincher, I feel. It's a promotion changer as well. Newcastle need to get up, because they're playing the fourth tier. They need to get into that third tier. And obviously, we've talked on this channel before that when Mia Dad and Amanda want to start paying the girls professionally, paying them. Not professionally paid. They want to pay the girls. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. And hopefully they do become professional as well. Terra says, I would gladly burn my shirt as soon as we have a new sponsor. If I can, I'll erase that part of the history. Yeah, you're not a big fan of Phone 88, are you? Not a big fan of them as well. Yes, so if you are watching it and liking this, please smash the like video. We are coming towards the end. That is all the news the past 7 days, in particular with Dubai. We've done a video every day on the channel so far in the international break. We do have, obviously, Spurs stuff starts the back end of next week. Still got plenty of ideas. I think Steve's doing an idea. So you might say soccer, Steve. And if you're into Formula One over on NFTV Extra, that is going to be on probably Sunday night, Monday night, a reaction to the F1. Carl put his belated Southampton vlog out on Extra as well, if you want to see that. And there's some stuff on my sister channel, so have a look at it as well. And if you follow me on the socials, you can keep up to date with everything that we're up to, as well as our website, which tells you more about us as a group or brand, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that is it, everyone. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you very soon on NFTV. Take care. Bye-bye.